Odyssey. I hate to have to start with the negatives, energy-wise. Christopher Nolan's interpretation of Homer's The Odyssey was met with backlash at some things like casting, historical anachronisms, and use of modern American slang. If any of these things angered you to any degree and you judge the movie before watching it in all its context, then skip it. Purists beware, it's not for you. You're missing out on a fantastic epic because you had to have big feelings. So without further ado, casting. The actors with whom people had problems with are barely in the movie for a max of 5 to 7 minutes. The story doesn't suffer. The use of modern slang. Took a sec to get used to, but I quickly moved past it once I saw it in context. Figures. And historical anachronisms. Armor and ships mainly. Now I understand that this mythical story takes place in a real era, and that Nolan took intentional liberties to better serve the tone and story, i.e., interpretation. So I say this with absolute sincerity in regard to the inaccuracies. I don't care. Nothing stood out so atrociously that it pulled me out of the story. Can we grow up and move on now? Good. Matt Damon leads most of the film in a role I maybe wouldn't have firstly chosen for, but one that he more than rose to the occasion for. Holland, Hathaway, Patterson, Theron, Bernthal, Leguizamo, and so much more each have their big standout moments that greatly suited their characters, the story, and tone. Big shout out to Leguizamo for really shining as Eumaeus. I see an Oscar in his future. Shooting on location in concert with visual effects that were as much in camera as possible, as the good Lord intended, never stole from the grand scope of this dark epic and allowed the audience to be as immersed as cinematically possible. Paired with an amazing score and jarring sound design to really make you feel it in your soul. A little warning to those with auditory sensitivities though, Nolan really cranks the volume in a few scenes. Some might complain it was too loud, but I felt that those scenes called for it. Coming in at almost 3 hours, this film really moves, almost a little too fast at first, in order to establish everything. Now, I'm not deeply well versed in the story of the Odyssey, so I had to keep my attention really locked in. And after those first 20 minutes, I was in it. I felt the weight of this film, and Nolan's vision come to life. It was beautiful, exciting, heartbreaking, horrifying, emotional, just an epic. Nolan managed to adapt this story into one that has messages we can learn from and relate to, about love, sins, and taking responsibility as a father, a soldier, and a human being. I shall never doubt Christopher Nolan ever again. His passion for filmmaking in as much of its pure form shines in The Odyssey.